Hello, everybody. You know what time it is. I know what time it is. That's right. It's time for Syntext Live. I hope you guys are doing good. I finished running around like a jackass all day. So let's start by gentlemen and lady. Let's start your engines.
Reactor online. Sensors online. Weapons online. All systems nominal.
Well, I do hope everything is nominal with you guys. I know a few of the folks in here are a little bit under the weather lately, and everybody's got their own health issues, myself included. So let's not dwell too much on this. I got a full range of stuff to go this week because I was able to make sure I got a video out every single day for you guys, which was requested. And I was able to do it, and we'll go over a couple other requests, and we will follow up after this section with any requests you guys have. Yes, I have at least two. Let me check. Yeah, two in the box right now. So let's get started. All right. We did the whole week of It's a Dangerous Trade. I will let you know this originally.
Hold up. Wait a minute. Something ain't right.
Something is right, because before we even got started, we got $10 super chat from the MTF Guard, a name that I give a lot of ships because, well, just like SS Demon, it kind of works, doesn't it? He says, there's your paycheck. Don't know if all the stuff sent through. I had to resend a couple things. Hold on. But that was hours ago. Now, I have a currently... let's see. Let me double check here. I have 6 videos sent, all from you. So if you sent more than 6, I didn't get them all. I will go through them today. So let's rock and roll here. Thank you again, Guard. Appreciate it. But yeah, thank you again. And also tonight, surprise, surprise, being Wednesday, being my biggest day, not to mention, having to help my dad out, plus having to help my brother's business out, plus having to run around like a jackass doing my own shit because I fucked up royal. I didn't get an actual story. However, a video dropping tonight is the compilation video from the past 2 weeks. It's roughly 3 or 4 minutes long. Hopefully you guys get a big chuckle out of it, because I did get to use a few of the audio clips I usually don't get to use. However, one in particular I overused. Sorry about that, but it's already processed. It's ready to be posted. So on the Dangerous Trade, want to let you guys know that this series was actually supposed to be multifaceted, but it seemed like everybody really, really liked the type of trade that was going on. So I kind of kept it on there. Is that a game? It's like Star Citizen or something, I think. You can see the ST in the corner if you're wondering about the thumbnail. Anyways, as far as this, since we were doing a serious subject on here, and everybody knows this could get very graphic and very gruesome very quickly, which I didn't really want to do for this particular story, it's still a deep subject. So what I did is I decided to have some fun with it, in particular with the games, or not the games, with the names. I can't even read my own writing here. Anyway, things like Planet Axe Wound. That was at one point I had it referenced where Axe Wound was bleeding, and I don't remember seeing anybody catching that in the comment section. But yes, that was exactly where you think it is. Believe it or not, somebody had sent me a quick video of that show Leonard Kenny, where they said she cut her hand chopping wood, so she had her axe wound just bleeding. She kept licking her own axe wound, yada, yada, yada. That's where I got the idea from. So yeah, blame them. Also, the running gag through the whole thing is how lawyers are the most dangerous and the most vile human beings. You go into a law firm, then it's a what was it? The phrase, a den of scum and villainy. You'll never find worse. And yes, Lean, it's ships do look like submarines. A lot of them will for a long time, just because that's what we're used to. I suspect when we actually do start taking off into space, our subs will be very sub looking. I very much suspect that, simply because, again, it's what we're used to. And the fact is, when you're using pressures, it's easier to work with an actual rounder shape because it equalizes the pressure. That whole flying brick can only be done with more advanced technology. So I do have a question for you guys, and it was right there because a certain someone, I won't mention who, but I believe, yes, he is actually in the chat right now. Am I getting too predictable for you guys? Because there's been somebody's like, I know after the very first episode of Dangerous Trade, I bet this series is going to be, and he listed it out, and I'm just like, fuck. I wish I had a button right now that just screamed fuck up in the air. But yeah, I hope I'm not getting too predictable. You guys got to let me know if I am, so I change it up. I do try to subvert expectations a bit. However, I can't get better unless you guys help me a little. And when I have a whole list, I mean, no joke, the whole thing right there of comments for this past week, usually it only fills up half that much. This is going to help out a lot. You're a little behind, Guardian. I'm gonna try and avoid spoilers as much as possible. Then, just whatever you guys commented. All right, but anyways, you guys gotta let me know if I'm getting too predictable. You guys are right. I did have the whole thing about the certain different clans, and that's from a alien perspective. They would see our different societies, just like we're a patchwork species. If you look across this planet, we're the same way if we go up into space. It's just that way. Believe it or not, I was the first one in all of HFY because I did get one of the other narrators to say, you're the first one to ever say patchwork species. And that literally just popped into my head when I was watching Spaceballs one day when they said, they've gone to plaid. And suddenly it just kind of hit me. The thing is, I don't think I'm the first one to use it. I think I'm just the first one in this area to use it. Yes, Guard, I did watch Space King. As someone who's not a big 40K fan, a lot of the jokes just went, right. I mean, way over my head. Way over. I was just lost. But the thing is, as soon as you talk that very first intro where they're kidnapping kids, yeah, they put giant balls on these little boys, but they're infants, dude. It's just, no, I'm sorry. I know it's trying to be a ripoff Halo or something like that, but there's limits. At least for me. It looked like the type of thing, if I was hiring a kite or drunk off my ass, I'd be laughing so hard I'd probably puke. I kind of did Patchwork Human once there, Alan, on a different story. Anyways, let's see. I want to actually say something else along with the patchwork species and the different factions, but since some people have not finished the series yet, I don't want to throw any spoilers out. I was about to on the second to last one, where that actually comes back to play with the different factions, but I can't do it. Okay. Thankfully, apparently, listening to my stories helped somebody in the doctor's office better than listening to, as he put, 10-year-old magazines. Dude, I was actually in the barbershop when my dad, maybe 2 months ago, and no joke, he still has comic books there from when I was a kid. I went over, I was like, Lou, you need to bring these to a collector. These things, even as beat up as they are, they're worth a decent amount of money. Oh, no, the kids still like them. I'm like, the kids are going to fucking steal them. That's what they're going to do. So, and the same thing, you guys with the Pokemon cards and stuff like that, you got to turn those suckers in and get the money because there's some shit going on with the finances around the world, but that's not what this channel's about. Hold on, going down a rabbit hole. Got to pull myself up. This, do I have a button to pull myself up? No, I don't. Crap. All I can say is,
God damn it!
I went down a rabbit hole again. Sorry about that. All right. I can't play the whole thing. But I will say, when I did the whole V for Vendetta,
'tis vengeance, A vendetta, held as a votive, not in vain, for the value and veracity of such shall one day vindicate the vigilant and the virtuous. Verily, this vichyssoise of verbiage veers most verbose, so let me simply add that it's my very good honor to meet you, and you may call me V.
I actually had to get that because whatever that guy's name, how you're supposed to pronounce it, like vivisection or something like that, I can't pronounce it, dude. Anyways, yes, I put that in there specifically because, hey, I want to try to do more sound effects, but trying to pump these out every day, I have limits. Also, I'm just going to throw this old ass back up on there because somebody got on my case about the fact that on the thumbnail, one of them, the syntax is literally on the woman's butt cheek. Guys, can you think of a better place to put it where it's definitely going to be noticed? I will wait for a response on that. All right. Okay, this one fell into the funny names. Yes, I did use Tripping the Rift. Yes, I did call it Chlamydia 69 as a planet's name. And I hope you guys laughed your asses off for that. But yes, that's another hat tip to just a very funny sci-fi series. They should have kept going with that, but I mean, it is what it is. And apparently, yeah. Apparently the dirty jokes on a certain chapter went over very well, especially with our female audience here, especially when,
Great Scott!
what do I see there? It is
Inconceivable!
But nope, it's a $10 super chat from Erica Gem. She says, will you be streaming next 2 Wednesdays? There's Christmas and New Year's Eve. Most likely New Year's Eve, but not Christmas. I actually have plans. I was going to go over that later, but I'll hit it now. Just like everybody else, I got family obligations to go to, and I will not be streaming next week. It is what it is. I appreciate you guys. I will try to have video set up so it comes out. What I might end up doing is I might end up taking the consolidated series that haven't been posted yet and just send it out. And those are going to be like the 6 hours long. I don't do it anymore. I used to go chapter such and such of this series begins now or something like that. I don't do that. Excuse me. Anyways, thank you very much, Erica. Very much appreciate you and Guard. Very much appreciate you sending that. But yes, your question is New Year's Eve. I will try my damnedest to be out here. As far as I know, I don't have anywhere to be New Year's Eve, but Christmas, yeah, we're kind of screwed. You want surrounded by assholes, Guard? Okay, let me on the soundboard. Surrounded by assholes. Well, the thing is, I actually have the sound effect. I've used it before. Do I? No, I didn't put it on here. God damn it. And I don't have a button for you. God, you know what, Erica? I keep wishing I could put up the gem thing for you. And of course, Guard, I forgot the
Heresy! Remove this filth!
I got a $5 super chat here from Joseph Blush. And thank you very much. And he says, wish it was more, but cheers. Good game. Okay. But yeah, the series was supposed to go further. I started to realize that I was going to talk about this later, but as far as Dangerous Trade goes, because it was mostly going to be wrapped around the flesh trade, I realized that if I kept going, I'd be repeating the same storyline over and over and over again, because there's only limited ways you can take care of this, which is why there was one. I should have just put all the I have a limited number of spots to put stills on here. However, there was the one where you see the human looking at the purple alien, and on the side it says, please. Originally, that storyline was going to be like he was walking through and she simply said, please, as in, please buy me. Please get me the hell out of here. And then I realized I already did that fucking story before. And I'm just like, son of a bitch, don't repeat yourself. So, anyway. Sorry, guys. I keep wanting to cough, and that's going to push everything down. Anyways, I don't want to repeat myself, guys. It's the same thing a lot of science fiction shows in particular does, like Stargate and any other one where they have to face off against this one particular bad guy. As soon as they beat it, another bad guy's right behind that one. They beat that one. Another bad guy's behind that one. They beat that one. Another one. And it's literally just a repeat over and over again. I can't stand it. I can't write pieces of shit like that because it drives me crazy. Goose fraba. Okay. And the last thing I want to do is make you guys sick of it, and then I'll be going,
congratulations, you played yourself.
oh, I think someone's here. Who's here? Hey, oh, that's right. Brian's here. It says, Dangerous Trade was funny. Enjoying the stories. Well, thank you very much. I'm glad you enjoyed it. And thank you for the super chat. And Erica is going absolutely whole hog here. And God, it irks me that I can't have the sound effect even on the media assets. I can look in there. Is it there? Can I get it on there? You son of a mother. Oh, nope. Son of a bitch. Well, all I can say is, let's see. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. She says, enjoy the Christmas bonus. I will very much. Actually, part of what you guys have been sending, I actually just drew out of the ATM. What you guys have been sending is going to be going into into cards for my nieces and nephews and whatnot. I don't have any kids of my own, more's the pity. But thank you again, Erica, Brian, Guard, everybody else. Appreciate that. And let's keep on going. Where was I? Down here. Yes. Along with the dirty jokes, which I'm not going to say which ones, even though one in particular, apparently Ava got the biggest kick out of. I think, Erica, you got it too. Something about Main Street. But one a lot of people didn't get was the fact that one of the species, by the way, I have to explain this. It was a species called OSHA. It was the ones that actually went and tried to take humans. They are a species that when their body was degrading, they began to replace it with cybernetics.
What? What the fuck?
What's going on is that's a $10 super chat super chat from the Guardian Sage. And he says, would you consider a ship the size of a Gul-Ud Al-Kesh as a PT boat? What's the biggest ship from sci-fi that you might consider as a PT boat from the stories for size comparison? All right. A PT boat is, as I put it, is personal transport. Someone's freighter, if they're living on it, is a personal transport. A personal transport is a very broad phrase for one that basically is their house. It's basically a motorhome with a cargo space. That's where that goes into. The fact of the matter is there is no size limit on a PT boat. Most PT boats, as far as personal transport ships in sci-fi, are going to be fairly small. The Razor Crest from the Mandalorian was a absolute perfect example. It had cargo space for his bounty, absolutely. However, it was designed more for actually living on. It had its own latrine. It had its own galley. It had its own sleeping quarters. That right there is a bare bones, absolute bare bones PT boat right there for science fiction. It had enough weapons to defend itself, even though just barely, and it was there to survive on and move some goods. Another PT boat could actually be, again, if you're living on it, if it's yours, could be a heavy freighter designed for several 100-ton. What the hell? So, well, PT boats don't actually, Leonid, PT boats don't have to be cargo ships. The one thing about PT boats is it's your personal ship. Just like somebody's big rig can be their own personal rig. Okay, that's one of the key things there. So officially, just like with a big rig, you have your own sleeping quarters. Some actually come with a little kitchenette or a little shower, which you don't see very often because the restrictions and the extra money you have to pay for those is absolutely insane. But you're still carrying cargo. You're right. PT boats don't have to be cargo ships. They can also be actually just something you're living on, or you're actually transporting people. Which is why on another story there, where they were transporting some folks all the way across so they could go to court, the guy had his own hydroponics bay. He had his own area for small livestock. He had all these other luxurious sleeping quarters, a big bathroom, and everything like that. Luxury items. Okay, that's just. All you're doing is taking the same thing and just adding on. Now, yeah, a Titan as a PT boat is possible. That being said, a ship that large would need a hell of a lot of automation or a lot of crew. Most PT boats are, at least in science fiction, have just the one person on them. It's their own personal craft. That's what limits their size. Unless you have, again, a lot of AI working with you. PT boats is military type. That's corvettes. That would fall under Corvette class because Corvette class is a military class, which is why I use those in separate areas. I have to use it more often now. I keep forgetting. But Corvette classes are small, usually crewed by about 4 to 6 personnel. Designed specifically for getting in, dropping your whole combat load right in their face, and getting the fuck out of there. That's what those are designed for. Or for recon, stealth ships. Okay, Corvettes are small, fast for a reason. They don't have much in the way of offensive weapons. Usually covered head to toe in point defenses, just like in The Expanse, they're... I'm trying to remember the name of that ship. It's the one Corvette. The only offensive weapon is one rail gun or coil gun, actually. However, it's small, just big enough for that crew of like 4 or 5 people that's on it. They barely have enough room. The only place they can be by themselves is a tiny little shitter. And then it's almost all engine and spots for point defenses. That's pretty much what takes up the mass of the ship. Anyway, I'm going down the hole again. I'm going down the hole.
God fucking damn it!
Went down the hole. All right, let me back up here. Let me get through these so I can jump over to the chat box here. Let's see. But yes, OSHA. I was going to go. I wanted to say this. The species that was OSHA, again, are mostly mechanical. However, there's a small piece of them, their original inside. You have to think of them more like a humanoid Dalek from Doctor Who. Okay, not quite as insane, but close enough. So they can't fully download their consciousness into a synthetic body, or they risk losing the last little bit of them that makes them them. That being said, it can be done. However, again, you're probably going to lose something. So that one species, as one person put in the comment section, how they could basically just Wi-Fi their consciousness away. Not that simple. Not to mention, their ship was not functional at the time, and their bodies were not strong enough to send that type of signal. That being said, when I brought in the fact that later on, if you're dealing with the OSHA species, you have to deal with their rules. The OSHA rules are real bitch. Somebody got it in the comment section. If you work construction or any type of labor job, you have to deal with OSHA, which is the safety guys, and they can be real assholes when they want to be. I mean, really, really up your ass so hard that their hand is tickling your nose. So, all right. Again, I don't want to go too deep into that one just because, again, spoiler alerts. Let's see. I covered that with the dogs thing. You guys already mentioned this. I just want to know if the funny names were okay or the goofy names were okay. There was actually a space station. A lot of you guys don't realize, but it was a different word for trash. The space station that they were discarding. I thought that was a bit of a giveaway. Here's a question that was put in the comments section. Since all these humans always carry or are wearing exosuits, what would happen if one of them walked around with a plasma sword? My response is, you get Master Chief, motherfucker. It's just that simple. And they put in there it's planet Nar Shaddaa. Now I've heard that before, and I think it's a Star Wars thing, but I'm not exactly sure. You guys are gonna have to tell me about that. I actually literally have a question mark right next to it, right there. Somebody brought up the fact that if they found space oil in one of these, where on the bottom of the thumbnail said negotiations have ended. Yeah, they didn't actually find space oil. And the problem is, I want to go deeper into this. The problem is, again, people haven't finished the series yet. So I don't do spoilers here. It's driving me crazy. All right. Now, when it came down to the rations, the ration bars that were extremely nutrient dense, the kicker is we have these, okay? There used to be a company called Tac Bar. Unfortunately, I don't believe they're still in business. I have had their product. It basically is like, it kind of tastes like a pancake that's not fully cooked yet. At least that's the taste. The consistency is very dry, but they come in actual big packs where they're actually, you could see the line, and it's like you're supposed to have one for every meal, because if you're out in the field, you don't want to have just one big meal and start walking. You're just going to be slower in hell as your body is trying to digest that many calories. And eating slowly over time, you just keep your energy up. I bring this up because we already have this technology. I've had the actual nutrition bars that they hand out. They're not supposed to, most people don't know about these, that the military used. They kind of went away from them because everybody was like, oh my God, I can't believe I just have to eat this freaking brick. It's extremely nutrient dense, but honestly, it tastes terrible. It's like super chemically taste because they had to like glue it together. Although I will say that it works. It does put all those nutrients and calories into you pretty fucking fast. That being said, we already have the technology. We know how to do this, which means, just like Erica just put in there, Cliff Bars. Do you have any idea how fast those things would be taken up by the goddamn crate for another species that means I just need something fast so like we can eat something, get a whole bunch of energy and then go back to work? Oh yeah, an actual military grade nutrition bar, like I said, it's hard to chew because it's so fucking dense. It's, if you ever known the old protein bars, like power bars, just think of a power bar, but harder to chew and about that thick. You almost rip your teeth out trying to take it off. But yeah, we already have the technology for that. Hell, we use it. All right, where was I? Oh, and they said galactic emergency rations would be ERATs, as in emergency rations. Yeah, just like survival rations or E-rats as well. I don't know if you ever seen those. They're basically crackers. They're dense crackers covered in some sort of sugar, trying to get some calories in you. It's just enough to keep you alive if you're not moving. Okay, I can't talk about that. Spoiler alerts. Oh yeah, when I put in at the end,
Congratulations, you played yourself.
apparently that went over well. I will try to do more of that, guys. I really, really, really want to put more sound effects in. But again, I am limited on time. Yeah, you got 3 more episodes. I'm glad I'm not talking about those. I almost ruined number 6 for you there, Guardian. I got a zip on that. The question was in the comment section, why would humans in this setting be doing so many mercy missions? Well, pure and simple, why wouldn't you? When we reach that sort of level of technology, unless you want to trade to try and get something better and you just want to have some sort of, some sort of different luxury, like you have a hankering for Romulan ale or some gach or something like that, you're good. At that point, you're going to be able to get what you want anyway, unless you want to trade, which means at that point, you're going to be happy with what you got. And you're going to be like, well, maybe I'll do some fucking good in my life. But then again, you got people out there in the middle of God's nowhere cubed. And yes, if you think about the math, that works. You're, how do I put this? They might end up hiring or purchasing a slave just to have, hey, you're going to work with me for a couple of months, maybe a year. I'll drop you off at your planet when it's all done with some rations and some goodies or whatever as payment. And yeah, there you go. I expect to see that a lot. I expect to see that a whole lot. And what's going to happen a whole lot is when you find these other species that they may look humanoid, but there's like no way you can actually breed with them. You're going to find people using the technology to keep themselves alive, and they're literally going to be in a constant state of dopamine hits as they try to get themselves in the middle of a pile of blue, green, yellow, and purple skin. I mean, just all writhing together around, on, and around you while you're on, and around them, and all sorts of different shit. I'm sure everybody's minds are going in different locations at this point, but you're all going to the same location. And unfortunately, I didn't put it on here, but how about
Giggity, giggity, giggity goo. Stick around.
And yeah, that's how I see it happening. Because if you don't have somebody to do that with, what they're going to do is while they're in transit, they'll just hook themselves into some sort of VR. It is what it is. But mercy missions, like I said, eventually people are just going to want to do something good. If you don't have to pay for fuel and you don't have to pay for food because you're already growing it and you already have engines that don't run off fuel, what's there to do? All right, I only got 2 more pieces on this, and one of them I can't even talk about because somebody's not done. I'm going to etch that out before I talk about it. But this one, there was a Star Trek reference in, I don't know which part, so Guardian Sage, you're safe. But nobody got it. I will say it's a Ferengi reference, and perhaps if you know which one it is, you put it in the chat box. So anyway, that right there, we gone for 35 minutes almost, and I got through my notes. As far as for the past week, I got a whole nother page of notes. Well, most of a page of notes to go to. But with you awesome people right now, I'm going to go into the media right here. And I'm going to go into the first clip that we have this week.
Armor piercing, loading. Vanguard! Well, I'm
And actually, you know what? I forgot to do this. I should have put it earlier on when I was talking about somebody figuring me out, knowing exactly where my mind is. Yeah, if you're looking at the screen, you know exactly where I'm going with this. So on that note, let me pull that off. Boy, that sounded wrong. And let me just 1 second. I have to do that. All right, now I gotta say this. The other two ideas I have written down right here are somebody mentioned the other, I have it on my other notes right in front of me there, about space armor, using a type of foam polymer. Now, as I was going through Dangerous Trade, I was having that one in the background of my head, and I'm thinking, what can I do with that one? And I came across one thing that I started chuckling to myself, and hopefully that means you guys are going to enjoy it. So that's probably what's going to be coming up next. I do have to work on something familiar. Hopefully I have more time tomorrow. I should, so I could actually get maybe 3, 4, 5 pages down, and that'll take it probably about 3 hours to get that much down, provided I can get it down right. Be prepared for some parts that are going to make you go, what? Or you're going to think,
It's a trap.
in some ways, but you're going to have, I'll just leave you with that teaser. Now, somebody sent in another idea, and this apparently Dangerous Trade was kind of tripping his brain. They said, you can either purchase 4 goblins for 50 credits apiece, or buy an elven princess for 20,000 credits for just the one. Which one's the better deal? And we went back and forth a little bit. Yeah, Chris, you got it. Yeah, Guardian, you were close. I like the rules of acquisition are actually pretty good. Most of them, a couple of them are weird. But anyway, the idea was mixing fantasy and sci-fi again. I've done this before, and they go over okay. In one case, it was Are We Still Human Enough? And I forget the other one. I've done so many, I forget what I've done so far. But anyway, I'm going to keep these as ideas here. Like I said, I always write these down just in case. I know you guys put some more in the chat box, and I will be writing them down as well. Let's see. Next spot here. Sorry. My penmanship is terrible. The holiday season, we already talked about that, but I will bring it up. I will not be doing one next Wednesday because if I remember correctly, next Wednesday is, yes, it is Christmas Eve. That's going to be, I got to be somewhere, family obligations. You guys know how it is. If things change, I will be back here next Wednesday. And yes, Erica, I'm going to mark it right now. And so that you have, even next week, if I'm on, don't worry about super chat or nothing next week. Okay. You're still going to get your shout outs for the week. Oh, come on, Dragon. We're all working too much. I just want to say this. As far as the holiday season, the question going out right now to everybody are consoles worth buying anybody? Or worth buying for anybody? Me personally, I don't think so. I think consoles have run their life out. The way they're running them is absolute dog shit. And it blows my mind when you can get so much better quality games off the PC. But people like what they like. So if you know somebody who's a big gamer, we got a whole bunch of folks here that are gamers. So, hey, you do you. All right, before I start breaking down into games, let me go and hit another video. Okay, I don't know what the hell happened on that. Everything just froze on my end. Hopefully things didn't go to crap on you guys' end. I saw the guy rocket boost and all of a sudden there was like a 5-second pause. I'm like, oh shit, did the stream die? I hope not. And it doesn't look like, as I'm looking up here at the numbers didn't totally drop. And so I know how many we got on this ship right now. And yes, I already wrote it down. I will try to put it onto the stream deck I got in front of me. And there's a couple that got to come off, like You're the best. All right. Yeah, I gotta pull that off. I already pulled the Rick roll off of here. So there's that. And well, this one, oh, yep, that one's already gone too. The whole ejecting thing, that's got to go. So anyways, let me just put that back up here. All right, games that were coming out, guys. Oh man, things are looking kind of weird in the gaming industry. And all these are coming out for PC as well as the consoles. And again, the PCs have caught up to the consoles when it comes to graphics. So yeah. All right, the Tomb Raider. Yes, they are making another one. Originally, it looked like it was made for modern audiences. However, they changed the way that Lara Croft looked. She no longer looks so butch. She actually looks female for a change. And, well, certain groups are losing their fucking shit because now she looks like a woman again. I'm like, her name is Lara Croft. Let me put that again. Lara Croft. And she is a very athletic person. She should not look like the original drawing. That it was kind of messed up. So they're getting away from that, which is a bonus. Looks like the gaming industry is actually getting their head out of their ass. At least you would think so. Because, and if I have this written down correctly, Horizon's Alloy, apparently they used AI for the art, and it's just honestly creepy. That's what everybody's saying. It's just creepy. I didn't look into it. I'm just going over the headlines. And yeah, we'll see. We'll see how that goes, because the fact of the matter is, you guys know as well as I do, the AI stuff is taking over. It's making us all obsolete, and actually, this channel is dying. I'm dying of 1,000 cuts, just because AI channels are coming out with everything. Oh, speaking of which, hold on, I got to go down the rabbit hole. And unfortunately, I don't have a rabbit hole button here.
It was at this moment that he knew he fucked up.
It's not that I got fucked up. I got fucked over. If you guys remember Garbage Planet, which actually, by current standards of view counts and everything else of this channel, was huge. Okay, it was kind of a breakout hit when it started. It kind of lost some of its viewership, but that's what happens over time, because people think I'm just going to go on for like 40 or 50 different chapters. I've only done that with 2 series before, and they kind of hurt the channel. So anyways, if you remember that one, you got one of the ships, the ship that the main character finds, has a sentient AI that actually calls for help for him. There is such an influx of stories that have come out in the past like week and a half, 2 weeks, and they're still going, of somebody purchasing a ship for $7 or something, and what they found inside was amazing because it was a sentient AI, or they found an abandoned ship and the AI called for help, or suddenly the AI formed themselves into a person that, you know, fitted their basically fetish or something like that. They're everywhere. I literally get on YouTube on my phone, and all I do is I'm scrolling up and I'm reading the titles, and I'm just like, are you fucking kidding me? It's everywhere. And I'm just like, you bastards, you AI loving cocksuckers. You just, will you just stop stealing everything I do? This is like the 5th or 6th times they've just ripped me off. Ugh. I mean, I prefer if they just jerk me off and get it over with. So anyways, I digress. Okay. High Guard. That's a new game coming out. It was supposed to be a breakthrough shooter. And those of you who have actually, you are big gamers, you can tell me of this. High Guard. Apparently, the trailer came out, or it got released, and it turns out it was made for modern audiences. I need to use a different voice for that, but anyways. Nope, I don't have. You son of a bitch. Okay, damn it. I pulled it off to do something else. Okay, that just sounded wrong, didn't it? So we'll just use this for
modern audiences.
Wow, that is way too deep. Let's see. Black Ops 7. Yes, they're still trying to keep the Black Ops franchise alive. I'm like, guys, just stop putting stuff out for a year or two. But they can't because they dug themselves in a hole. And you know how bad it is? It just came out. It's already 50% off for people to download it, people to buy it. I'm just like, wow, how bad does this have to suck? I mean, it sucks so much that the gamers are just saying, get your head off of me and go away. I'm done with you. I'm not even going to finish. All right, the new Resident Evil's coming out, and apparently they gender swapped Leon. You know, the pretty boy who was supposed to be the love interest or whatever, what they were trying to do to bring the girls in. Now they gender swapped him and, basically enlarged the chest to the point where even Power Girls are going, damn, turn that down. Although there is talk that this was kind of a joke that they're putting out and they're just going to change it back. I hope so. Lords of the Fallen. This one made me laugh, guys. This one seriously made me laugh my ass off because apparently a lot of people that are modern audiences did the
Holy Jesus. What is that? What the fuck is that?
Why are they saying that? Because the female characters are now attractive again. I'm like, why are you complaining? This is just, why are you complaining? What the fuck is wrong with you? I don't get it. It just blows my mind that females are supposed to look like females. Am I wrong? Just like guys are supposed to look like guys. It's just, it irritates me to absolutely no end. Let's see. The Baldur's Gate personnel got attacked, but for using AI in their character models, and their character models suck. The new character models, not the old ones. And all I can say is that's what happens when you use AI. It grabs what it perceives the general audience likes. But if the general audience is the modern audience that they're pulling from, you're going to get dog shit. It's just that simple. It is just that simple. And, you look at these people that want to just destroy what we enjoy. It doesn't matter if it's the AI channels that are fighting against me or the AI in the video game industry or somebody who just wants to destroy what you love. All I can say is,
of course you realize this means war.
Because it does mean war. We will go to war with you. So before I get into the TV and movies, let me actually shoot the next.
Artillery barrage this way.
I hope he doesn't realize that about 2 seconds later, he's going to have artillery landing on him. That was the orange smoke. For those of you who are not gamers, even in MechWarrior Online, whenever you call an artillery, it's marked by smoke. By the way, the only time, anytime you ever do that in a real world situation is you're marking for aircraft, not for artillery. Artillery don't care. You give them a number, they look at a map and say, okay, that's where we're going to put it. Although, as they say, never call artillery unless you want to kill everything. Not even joking. I've seen them delete an entire grid square. Okay, for those of you who are fans of Assassin's Creed and hate live action, guess what? They're doing a live action Assassin's Creed, and they decided to hire a non-binary person to play the assassin in Assassin's Creed. I have not seen the picture of this person. I am not holding out hope for this. And they tried this whole thing in Terminator, what was it, Dark Fate or something? And it was just a disaster waiting to fucking happen. And all I can say is bite me, you sons of bitches. Actually, no, don't bite me, because Lord knows what the hell's in your actual mouth. As far, here's one, Supergirl as a movie. That one came out, and everybody, it doesn't matter what side of any fence or what side of any aisle, everyone's saying the same thing. It sucks. It is so bad. I only saw the reviews, and I'm just like, yeah, no, I'm not going to pay money for that piece of shit. Just no. They didn't know what they were doing. And look, if you're going to do Supergirl, there's certain things you need. You need Superman in there to help her with the backstory, even if it's in a flashback. You need to bring in Superman and do the backstory correctly. 2, you have to bring in Jimmy. That he is a major, major, major part of her character development. Her personality development was her dating him. That's what brought her to be more human compared to Kryptonian, at least in the way she thinks. You also are required to bring in at least one of the Kents, whether it be the mother or the father, it doesn't matter, but one of them has to be there. This one just goes, girl power, we're good. And it's just like, what the fuck? It didn't even make sense in the trailer. And since when does Supergirl, when somebody pulls a weapon on her, go, oh, I'm going to hold my hands up and surrender? No, she just kind of look at you and go, really? No. They missed the whole, I mean, they didn't even hit paper, and it was the 25-meter target. I mean, just what the fuck? On a bit of good news, though, Disney had the worst opening ever on something called Ellie McKay. I have no idea what that was. I didn't even know Disney was putting movies out, and apparently neither did a lot of people, because I looked in the comment section, and a lot of people was like, wait a minute, they put a Disney movie out? Huh? What? Where? What? Huh? Yeah. Although it really doesn't matter what Disney does. It doesn't matter what the rest of Hollywood does, because Paramount and WB have both been purchased by other companies. They're gone. Hollywood is done. Technology has made it possible to create your own movies, full-length movies. That's if you want to pay the extra money for it. Apparently, the AI for that will cost you a few $100 right now. The actual free downloadable AI can give you about a 5 to 10 second video, and that's about it. So, yeah, we'll see. Lena, so the Supergirl movie, did you actually see the Supergirl movie, Lena? Because all I saw was the trailer, and it looked absolutely horrific. So let me know, did they bring Jimmy in, and did they bring Kal-El in? And did they actually speak in Kryptonian? At least for a moment. All right. One more on the video before we hit the...
Don't let them take out the shields.
All right, I'm looking over here on the comment section, and I'm going to start here with the War Sniper. And he says, I enjoy this channel a lot, but I can't understand why and how the channel is bleeding, and there may be any other platforms that are not out screwing you over. All right. Well, I'm going to have to start posting on Rumble again and stuff like that. However, what happens a lot of times is I will get a warning message on YouTube. And at one point, they actually blocked my channel completely. I couldn't post. I couldn't do anything because they're like, oh, you're ripping off this other channel. And I keep having to send them in recorded videos like this and saying, hey, look, this is me, dumbass. I do a live stream every week. I am not afraid to show my fucking face. Okay. There's other guys who never show their face outside of once or twice at all. Net Narrator's one of them. Don't get me wrong. He does an excellent job. I have nothing bad to say about him. He just doesn't show his face. I've only seen him do a face video once. But you got to do that to show you're a real person. But YouTube really gets on my case. Now, what's going on with YouTube and a lot of others is the algorithms are pushing more towards the AI channels, and they're really, really pushing shorts. I have got a short that's been on deck for probably a month and a half now. I still haven't finished it, and it's 3 minutes long, but it takes a lot of editing to get that one done because I got to put sound effects in. I got to put the visuals in. I got to get the rest of it done. The only thing that's completed is the actual audio. And for those of you who are wondering, it's about the fact that Ranger School is cancer for every other unit out there, financially speaking, especially. But there's a whole lot more to it, and there's only so much I could do in a short. A lot of people right now going, what the hell, Rangers? Rangers are awesome. I didn't say anything about Rangers. Now, did I? I said Ranger School. Very big difference between the two. But as far as bleeding the channel there, War Sniper, one of the key things is every single creator I know, I've contacted them all and asked them the same thing, and everybody is down to about anywhere from 12 to 22% of what they were 2 years or a year and a half ago. It doesn't matter how many people try to subscribe, their subscriber count and their viewer count just keeps tanking. And even if they are blocked, which I know one who gets blocked or flagged or censored, whatever, demonetized, they still put commercials on that same video all the time. I see it's crazy. So what they're doing is they're trying to get rid of real creators like you guys. When you guys send stuff in, because Chris has sent stuff in, Demon has sent stuff in, a lot of you guys have sent stuff in, and I've read it. And it's just a shame they're coming after real creators. A patchwork human with alien parts. Alan, you do realize who you just talked about, right? That's Samus from Metroid. She's a human with alien parts. Let's see, Joseph here. YouTube has been black holding traffic over 30 days old. It's hard to beat out a wall of fresh AI spam. Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, just, where's that button right there? Crap, I took it off. Whatever. And every time you look at those, everybody just kind of, their head just breaks. Like, what the hell? Really? Yeah, they've been. They'll do that. They'll get you off the list for a time, and then you can't come back. Guardian says, I played stupid and gave my original Pokemon cards to a kid about 15 years ago. Yeah. Yeah, the thing with Pokemon card, I even told my nephew, and he's 16 now. He's got several books full of Pokemon cards they don't make anymore. We went through one page and we're talking several $100. So I told him, look, until it looks like we're in severe financial trouble, don't sell them. Or when you go off to friggin' take off on your own, and that way you have some sort of parachute. I just hope he does good because, I love it when a plan comes together. All right. Guard says, I love it when I try to enjoy a match of Rainbow Six Siege while watching Sin, only to immediately get my ass curve stomped by some doof in a Smurf account. I have no idea what a Smurf account is, but he says, yes, R6. I love being one of the lowest tiers for ranked, but it gets my ass stomped by guys who've been platinum for 7 years straight. Ugh. Yeah, I mean, I used to love playing, but I guarantee if I started now, they would literally go, here's your ass, as soon as I was there. Chris here talking about the finances. He says, thinking of financing stuff, I was trying to make it to 1,000 ounces of silver, but at $65 an ounce, I'm thinking I'm going to stick with $5.90. Yeah, I had some financial difficulties a few years back, and actually that silver saved my ass. And I've never been able to fully restock it, which is a pity, because it would be worth a hell of a lot right now. And I didn't have anywhere near, I still don't think I got more than maybe 100 ounce at most. But yeah, always have some as a backup. You never know when you're going to need it. Guard continues, also saying, I swear to God, I could have sent you a whole video of what happened on War Thunder last night. You would have had to sit there through a 30-minute match and possibly the sweetest gameplay. Can you put a I'm surrounded by assholes reference in one of your... Okay, yeah. Oh, in one of the stories. Okay, I'm going to put it on the soundboard too. Probably to one of these ones that's missing. I'm not going to get away from the...
Game over, man. It's game over.
But it sounds like you're doing that while playing Rainbow Six.
What? What the fuck?
Yeah, let me scroll down here as fast as I can. This thing's jumping all over the damn place because I see a $10 super chat from someone who's demonic. And SS Demon says, hi guys, can't stay long. I'm off the next 2 Wednesdays for Christmas and New Year's. Not sure if the stream will be on them soon, but if you do, I'll be there. Miss you guys, back to work. So I go, sadly, I don't wanna. Thank you very much, Demon. Very much appreciated. And if you're still listening, I'll let you know that next Wednesday, being Christmas Eve, probably not. However, if I get time, I will go in. New Year's Eve, I should be good to go. So thank you very much, Demon. And I hope everybody wishes them well. As I set myself up here. Let me scroll back up. I have no idea where the hell I was, so I'm going to just be kind of stopping here. This is... oh, no, I already passed that. Fun. Yeah, stop buying silver at 27 because I thought it was too high. It's always going to keep going up because inflation's a bitch. Guardian saying, definitely laughed at the name Chlamydia 69, even if it didn't get what you had intended to be referencing. Dude, you gotta look up Tripping the Rift. It's really bad CGI by today's standards, but it's just do yourself a favor, have a 6-pack with you. Or something else that's gonna kind of twist your brain up because you're just gonna laugh your ass. I'm not one for toilet humor. Oh no, let me. I am one for toilet humor, but not stoner humor. This one, it does have stoner humor in it, but it's mixed in just enough where I can enjoy it. Guard keeps going here. He says, like, I usually don't sweat the War Thunder, but my lord, I've just been crawling up the walls level, sweating on it. I went 16 kills and 6 caps in the 30-minute match, only for us to lose because my teammate was being a pussy and not moving up with me for the last 2 teammates to retake our point. And we all 3 died to a M31 because, of course, let's give a Sherman Cold War era heat shells, high explosive anti-tank shells that make them the most broken heat shells in the game. Oi. Oh, there's Leonid with how many assholes we have on this ship? Great, I'm surrounded by assholes. The hard part's getting the whole line. I can get this, no problem. How many assholes we got working on the ship anyhow? And it will just cut. So it's getting the whole thing. The best one I ever seen, though, I shit you not, I was just outside of Comic-Con, and guys were dressed up like the Spaceballs, you know, the white uniforms, and they're just in the diner eating, and I swear, this has got to happen every place they are. And somebody asks, how many assholes do we have in here anyway? They all stand up and go, yo! And no shit, the manager screams, keep eating, assholes. And they all just sit right back down. And you can hear the whole place just snickering and dying laughing. And it was just glorious. I wish somebody had got it on video. I really do. Because it was just beautiful. Warsniper says, I want that reference for a story. Yeah, I'll work on it. Guard continues with what he was saying. Because I was playing a French tank, you put wrench, destroyer, the Lorraine. Oh, really? Oh, that's not a bad piece of machinery. I had two. Wow, it looks like your dingle bits as my teammates that moved up with me so easily 50 caliber because they were AA vehicles. Okay. Did I put Brian? Yeah, I did. I feel like I wasn't so reckless running around with a premium, and I paid real money for that match of War Thunder. I would have been able to win for us. But of course, having a broken ASF premium tank that I used 16 IRL dollars to get in, not just in-game currency, of course. And I was going to use it like going out of style. Yeah, I used to use have real cash as far as for MechWarrior Online because I used to buy the extra drones spots and the artillery strikes. Man, that pissed off the other team. Something fierce, especially when I lucked out and I fired artillery at the edge of a cliff and a friggin' Jenner mech, a light mech, was right there, saw the red smoke, backed up a little bit, and one of the artillery shells bullseyed his cockpit. I can still see it in my mind as the friggin' Jenner kind of burst into flames and fell backwards. I'm like, okay, yep. Joseph says, Babylon 5 had a set story arc planned before it was even filmed. Yes. You tell a good story and move on when done. It's a good thing. Yes, absolutely. Do not sit there and repeat. When they were going to do the whole thing, when they left Babylon 5 and they basically left a brand new cast of almost the exact same folks, exact same aliens, I'm just like, what are you doing? Oh, man. A guard saying, Miller, take out those fucking PT boats. Yeah, here's what we were talking about. PT boats are just cargo ships. Yes and no, they can be. PT boats is ubiquitous, just like saying car or truck. It's ubiquitous. A truck could be a little bongo truck, with the sides that come down and everything, with barely enough room in the cab for two people, all the way up to a tandem semi. Or one of those big dump trucks they have in the quarries. It's still a truck. It's ubiquitous. It's very broad speaking. But yes, they can be. Guards up here. I wish I could play, but my money's kind of tight right now. I don't think I could afford paying $30 for a game. Yeah? Oh, they're much more expensive now. Much more expensive. Now, Guard, you're talking about a 20-year-old game. You want a good 20-year-old game? Star Wars Battlefronts 1 and 2. Those, I'm sorry, that is just hours and hours and hours of fun gameplay. Especially if you're playing against the hardest AI enemy, or better yet, a real person. The best game I ever had on that, we were doing a LAN. We had run a 200-foot cable from my Xbox to his, and we were going on so long that there was only 2 planets left, his and mine. And eventually I won, but just barely. I think he fell asleep at his controls because we played for over a day. Erica says, that was funny. I heard the name of the cyborg race. I thought of OSHA. Yep. Okay. Like I was saying before, Alan, with the PT boat is a military type that is considered a Corvette class. A very, very specific. However, you can make a personal transport out of a Corvette class, which wouldn't be too hard at all. Let's see. PT boats make me think of attack boats with rocket launchers. You're not far off. Oh, they put all sorts of stuff on the deck of those things. They were so fast and they sat so high that the torpedoes couldn't touch them. And most of the guns, if you had a decent pilot, they just zigzagged and turned and they were out of range before anybody could hit them. Erica here. Titan PT would be used for cruises or mass transportation like Carnival or Greyhound. I could see that. Or they would use them as mobile repair stations, which is more or less, if you look at the that flying wing they had for Star Wars with in one of the newer ones, the one that got hit with the hyperspace jump. That if you actually look at the way that thing was designed, that was basically a battle station that moved. It was able to take full-on battleships, the Star Destroyers, put them inside to do maintenance. You know, I think it was like 4 or 6 could actually fit in that thing at a time, and then you could strap another 1 or 2 onto it as you're doing maintenance on those. And yeah, you get up to those, and they do stop being called PT boats. They just start being called what they are, like heavy cargo or destroyer class. Chris says, I had 2 stories idea for you. Okay, let me get these down. First story idea. The first one, humans are the bad guys oppressing everyone's. Okay, humans, bad guys. So the galaxy rises up to defeat us, only to find out that we're fighting a bigger threat. Okay. Galaxy attacks. Realize humans fighting worst threat. Kind of like Halo on that. I remember you talking about that. Bigger threat, claws and teeth. You know, okay, let me write that down. Claws and teeth. Okay, got that one down. And yes, Guardian, OSHA is a fucking pain. Deathbeds over here. Puns and funny names are always good. I'm glad you enjoy them. Lena says, be careful when stealing cargo from a sinking ship. It's not piracy. In space, you don't actually sink, but ships that are adrift is pretty much what you want. However, I will say this, if there's anyone still alive on board, they might just sit there and do the whole thing from Speed. Don't fuck with daddy. Click, boom. And next thing you know, you got multiple ships that are nothing but very small shards of metal floating through space. Okay. Second one he's got. Second. A Mu battle group. I'm assuming that's supposed to be a new battle group. New battle group. And merchant fleet. Enter a wormhole, but an unexpected coronal mass ejection pops off after they pass the gravity well, so they get kicked out into an unknown sector near an abandoned station. Okay. Wormhole plus CME equals unknown sector and abandoned station. All right. I will put those in and see what I come up with. Let's see what the old gray matter can kick out. All right, let me remove that. Okay, Guardians. Okay, that's you finished chapter 5. Okay, like I said, I don't like to do spoiler alerts here. Chris says you were talking about the long range recon rations. 5 came in a metal foil cylinder. They tasted like crap, but they really held you over. Yeah. You're talking about the actual round ones that are like a biscuit thing that you ate. I seen them. I didn't actually have those. I had the ones I had literally looked like half a brick was squished together that honestly looked like diarrhea. It's just got to get at that point when you're that hungry, you don't give a shit. The plate fright is not really a thing, but still. Let's see. Garth says, I kind of came up with this as a joke with one of my fellow employees when he was being lazy ass. I said, what has 5 toes, but it's in your food? He said, I don't know what. And I responded, my foot when I park it up your ass. Now get back to work. That's good. That's really good. I got to write some of these down because honestly, I hear a lot of funny jokes, but I can't come up with that sort of thing a lot. I wish I could. Then I'd be a comedian. Then I'd make a lot more money. Chris says, who told you about my necklace war trophy? I don't need to know about a pearl necklace, man. That's messed up. Yep, there's the whole Ferengi rules of acquisition. And yep, there's the green dragon. Roar. Or do I have a dragon sound on here? No, I don't. The closest I got is...
Did somebody say dynamite? No!
Let's see. The Andy Griffith Show, A Deal is a Deal, 1964. Honestly, I don't remember that. I didn't see much of the Andy Griffith Show growing up. I knew it was there. The one thing that turned me off, though, was the entry or opening music. That high-pitched whistle. I don't know what it was, but it just made me cringe. Working way too much. Yeah, ain't we all? Wars Never says, I have vacation until 6th of January. Cool. Very cool. Lena says, I heard the game consoles are always cheaper than, and computers are expensive because RAM is expensive. Actually, what's expensive now is the graphics card. I know because the computer I'm on now, the graphics card alone costs more than the rest of the computer. And I've got a shit ton of RAM on this thing. I had it put in as much RAM as this thing would hold. And still the graphics card was crazy. Not to mention, you can go down to Best Buy and buy new sets of RAM. It's not hard. It's not cheap. Or, sorry, it's not expensive. It's actually very easy to put in. Let's see. Guardian says, either older consoles or newer devices that have a bunch of classic games on it is what I suggest. Yeah, the problem is a lot of the classic games are, I don't know, they only keep you busy for a little bit of time. I mean, I like myself some Space Invaders. The problem is I figured it out a long time ago how to actually beat it. And now it doesn't take me but 10 minutes to blow through one of the screens on it. It's crazy. Let's see. Chris says, doesn't AT4, for those who don't know, a AT4 is a 84 millimeter shoulder fired rocket launcher. Need 120 feet before the warhead activates, roughly. Now, I've heard people say as short as 35 feet, which I'm like, are you crazy? I've actually seen AT4s bullseye a target at 200 feet, and they just bounce off and land somewhere. We had to call range safety and have them call EOD for us. But yeah, there is a minimum arming range. I believe it is 0.8 seconds after leaving the barrel. It's really short. But there is an actual timer on it. I'm trying to remember exactly where it is because it's approximate. It's not a guaranteed distance. And by the way, the classic games, I know some kids who were given one of the Atari ones with every single Atari game. They played it for like 5 minutes, went through every single game and went, just because it was 8-bit. You want a game on the computer that's actually the very first game to use a randomizer circuit for the enemies. It's called Digger, Digger, not Dig Dug, Digger, Digger. And the whole idea is to, you got that little cart and then you go up and you eat all the emeralds, the stones that are there. but you got gold bags that you have to actually knock down, break them open, and get the points off of that. But you have your enemies coming, and if they touch you, you die. The kicker is you do have the ability to shoot at them with a fireball. However, there's a very, very, very long reload time for that thing. You can't just blast them all and call it good. So it takes a lot. And I think the highest I ever got was like 36,000 points, which is fairly high. But it's one of those games that just goes on and on and on. But again, you can't just, you know how Pac-Man, if you know the path, you can just do that same path every single time until it overloads. This one you can't because the randomizer's in it. Came out in like 1986, I think. All right. Sorry. Down the rabbit hole I was going. Let's see. Guard says, work tried to get me to work next Wednesday. Like, no, my day off. Find it with my paid time off. Yep. And he continues, it looks like it's the end of the PC era too. Really? I don't see how it would be the end of the PC era. You still need PCs to make a whole bunch of content and stuff like that. You can't answer your emails on an Oculus, not yet. So I don't know where you're going with that. So one of the biggest companies for producing RAM opted out of making it for public usage, and it's now only being made for AI companies or AI uses because AI consumes so much RAM. AI does use a shit ton of RAM. I'll agree with that. Uh-oh, Guardian Sage, are we going to have to call you the White Rabbit? I'm late for a very important date. No time to say hello, goodbye. I'm late. Ah. Boy, that was a really fucked up cartoon, I'll tell you that. The puns online are so much worse. All right. I'm just right here. I need a second to reconfirm myself. So, let's see. Guard says, looked online already at the cheapest one I could find for the RAM you needed, $856. This was almost $600 price hike. Yikes. And that's just for RAM? That's nuts. And the War Sniper saying how even shorts are infested with AI. Yep. And the thing is, when I first heard this, I seriously, I almost fell on the ground because AI is making such a big splash. It has gone into a certain industry, the type of industry. And I was like, there's no freaking way. No freaking way. So I decided even a simple search on DuckDuckGo, I was like, you know, how I guess you'd say infested. I forget the word I used. Or prolific is AI in the adult thing. And no kidding, it gave a percentage. It says it was at like 1 or 2%. Now it's like 8 or 9% and growing. And it's going to be exponential. And I'm just like, wow, it is going to put everybody out of business. Everybody out of business. And they got the new robots coming in too. Holy crap. Just, yeah. You're just going to be sitting there going, swing at pretty much everything, but not knowing if it's right now. People are wondering, is that male or female? Well, they're pretty soon they're going to go, is that human or non-human? It's going to be a big question on that. So we'll see how it goes. But you're right. AI is just every freaking where. It's getting ridiculous. And these guys who set up the algorithms, they just pump out AI slag all the time. And it's just terrible. Only a few times I'll say the AI did a good job. Like when they did I think it was called Robot Uprising Resist or something like that. It's like a 20 or 30-minute actual AI created video of AI becoming sentient and stuff like that and going through like a gladiatorial arena. Basically, they ripped off Megatron, but still, it was a fun watch. It was a very fun watch. But there's very little as far as AI that's impresses me so far. All right. Garth says, look, in my defense, on that one clip of me direct impacting that liquor with an RPG, he moved in my direction. Okay. Lean says, I dislike listening to the AI stories. I have to spend hours just to listen to it. Yeah, the one thing about AI stories is they're very easy to understand what the hell is going on. It's very obvious what's going to happen, even from just the title. I mean, could I do a couple of those? Hey, I met an alien woman and they didn't think I could knock her up, but magically I got magic swimmers and they're able to do that. I mean, they're everywhere, man. They're everywhere. It's just constant. Or, oh, I picked up this slave, or one knocked on my door and said, please don't push me away. Or my favorite, where some kid comes up and says, hey, feed me. You feed the kid. And then here comes the mother. The mother's either desperate for a husband or is the queen or princess of the fucking universe. And I'm just like, seriously, again, you're scrolling through on your phone. So like, when do these stop? They don't. It's the same thing over and over and over again. There's no originality, and that's the failure of AI. And the thing, they don't even talk like real beings would. It really, really gets me. Lean is here talking about we were going over the video games and stuff. He says they're complaining because they dislike hot women. Yes, that is true. Now, here's the fun thing. If they release the fucking technology like they're supposed to, like I was talking about over the past few weeks, then a lot of folks, especially these young ladies who are no longer young anymore, will be able to revert back to being the young ladies they were, at least physically. Mentally, you're going to be a lot better off. And you watch, they're suddenly not going to they're suddenly not going to be bitching and moaning anymore. The only ones that are going to bitch and moan are the ones who lost the genetic lotto, like didn't even get one number. Which unfortunately, with that situation, I was going to do a wargaming on it, but the wargaming series doesn't get a lot of traction at all. I will say this, there will be a mass amount of people that will either not take the pill, or it's not going to bring them the joy they want, and they're going to take a permanent solution. It's going to be horrific, but it's going to happen. Until actual full-on genetic engineering comes in, but we've had CRISPR for a long time. I personally just don't feel like growing a tail. An extra dick could be fine, but not a tail. I'm good. Let's see. Guardian said their issue is they want everything to be androgynous or the opposite of reality. Yes, absolutely. I mean, look at The Last of Us Part 2. It's even now, just saying that title might get this stream actually cut. However, you look at the main character, I'm like, seriously, I've known guys in the army who were never that butch. And then they tried to do this friggin' intimate scene with it, and I'm just like, ugh. I don't use that word very often, but no, this is just cringy. I mean, you got to be one hard up motherfucker to even consider that. And then you got a lot of these, how do I put it? It's like some of these ones where the character guy is going to get some, and oh, this woman likes him, but he's like all sorts of messed up. Like he's got slime coming out of his pores or something like that, and actually looks like a toad or something. I'm just like, no, unless you're a furry, you can't be into that. But yeah, they want the opposite of reality. You're right. Okay, That's a good one to know, Leonid. He says, in War Thunder, artillery calls are just an inconvenience. You can survive it. Okay, well, that's some terrible artillery, I'll tell you that. Those must be probably 60 millimeter mortars if they're not punching through any of that. The only tanks that 60 millimeter mortars in World War II could punch through was the Japanese tanks because they were so thin. They were so thin that standard medium machine guns could punch through it, which was... that's just horrific. I'm sorry. No. Okay. Thank you for helping me out on this one, Guard. High Guard is the biggest disappointment I've seen yet. And what makes it even worse is the fact that it's a genuine slap in the face to the Titanfall community because Respawn Entertainment have been talking about the possible sequel to Titanfall 2 for literally years now. And they gave us this middle finger called High Guard at the Gaming Awards. And it's even worse than the Half-Life community because Valve used the G-Man as part of its advertisements only to come out with another game like High Guard. Ay, chihuahua. Exactly how fast are they trying to sink their own companies? That doesn't make sense. Let's see. Guardian says, I haven't paid much attention to what was come out in theaters recently. Most people don't. The only one I know that's coming out because they kind of pitched it a lot was Avatar Fire and Farts, or lighting your farts on fire, or something like that. Yeah, and it's going to be the same thing. The same thing as the first one because I can already see what's going on. You're going to have the bad guy and it's the same thing over and over again. They're rehashing the same bad guy. I hate when people do this. I was like, you killed the fucker off twice already. How many times you got to kill him off before he stays that way? It's one thing I hated or didn't like about anime. But he's going to walk in, and in his body, to their eyes, he looks very, very broad. Like bigger, a lot broader and thicker and stronger than he should be, just naturally. And that other woman with the friggin' spike through her nose there looks at him, and she instantly got the fuck me eyes. So she's going to fuck the shit out of him. He's going to fuck the shit out of her. And most likely he's going to turn around and say, fuck the human race. I'm going to be on the other guy's side now because reasons. And honestly, I could go full political on that movie and it'd make you guys not want to see it. But I would mention something that would just make you be like, oh, fuck me running. Okay. Let's see. Chris here, or I should say Prozac and Pancakes, says, my favorite Pop Smoke moment was the marking our location with green smoke. Then they popped green. So blue, it was pop blue followed by white. And you guessed it, white. They withdrew and target smoke. Okay. A little mix there. For those that don't know, if you somebody says pop and smoke before a helicopter comes in, they'll actually say Roger, this color smoke. And like I've done this once, and we were actually training with them. So when they gave me the smoke grenade, I look and it's white smoke. I'm like, okay, whatever, we get white smoke. They're like, you hear the helicopters? I think I hear them. Anybody else hear them? Yep. All right, throw it. Popped it. Let it smoke a little bit, chucked it over. And the guy on the radio is right behind me. And he says, do you see our smoke? He says, Roger, purple smoke. I was like, this is white smoke. What the fuck? And all of a sudden you just hear, wave off, wave off, wave off. And they just woke off. They were all... And what it was is they saw somebody smoke, and somebody else, the Op 4, threw smoke as well, trying to draw the helicopters in. Let's see. Guard says, so if you try looking in the Reddit servers for both groups, you can see them all actively and collectively losing their shit. Oh, yeah, with the video game, yeah. I would expect so. I mean, everybody's... if you're promised something and you don't get it, of course you're going to be mad. It's like ordering a steak and getting oatmeal. You know, they're still going to charge you steak prices. Yeah, no. Guard says, you know that even Activision admitted that the game was ass, or I should say was ass, but they didn't care because the money, because they know the streamers will crawl to it for content because, yeah, you can't play Warzone without having number 7. The same stunt they pulled when they released MechWarrior 3 is that they made it to where you had to have it to play Warzone, thus giving MechWarrior 2 a big middle finger. Yeah, I really didn't care for that. I just now got to see the MechWarrior 5. I don't get a chance to play them, but if I have a chance, I'll watch the cutscenes. The Rosselhawk wasn't bad. And I'm sorry, when that fucking bitch, I mean, forget bitch, she was a total cunt through the whole thing. Just this angry, I'm better than everybody else, as she's walking through, smart enough at least to get into water with her Warhawk, because Warhawks run very, very hot and you need to cool them down or else you're just a giant target. And she got that freaking rocket right in the face. I'm just sitting there going, yay, do it again, do it again, do it again. And I backed it up just to watch her go kablooey. And just like, and of course she was Smoke Jaguar too, and nobody likes Smoke Jaguar. If you don't know about that, Smoke Jaguar is the only clan in the Battletech universe that said, you know what, you guys pissed us off. We're gonna back everybody out of the city, and then we're going to glass like an entire seaboard. It was just a straight up genocide. So nobody likes Smoke Jaguar. And there's Julius with
Good evening, sinners.
Lena says they also have the slogan truth, justice, and whatever. I like that. You know, it's actually allura in Italian when you say whatever. Actually, if you're an adult and you say allura, it means fuck it. Anyways, I do find it hilarious that if you guys remember a show called Voltron, the princess was Princess Allura. So you literally had princess, either princess whatever or princess fuck it. Oh shit, just it's one of those things I'm sure they didn't think about when they named the character, but still, to me, it's hilarious. Guard says, just keep in mind with this sin, to make artillery balanced, they nerfed its accuracy by a metric custom to the point where its accuracy is laughable. Yeah, I could see that. Especially for World War II, because until they got the actual VT fuses, you know, the proximity fuse that goes off, the chance of actually getting a kill on anything was laughable. And there's Demon again. Okay, somebody's finally going to cue me in here. Leonid says, Nar Shaddaa is my favorite destination in Star Wars game because it's the smuggler's moon, a very beautiful designated city planet during the nighttime. Okay. See, I didn't know that. I'm not that up into Star Wars lore. I would have, when somebody put it in the comment section, they're like talking about what I was doing. You mean Nar Shaddaa? I'm like, what the fuck is Nar Shaddaa? Let's see. He continues with that Star Wars moon has an active presence in the Legends material in the Old Republic. Okay, that's probably why. Because one of the guys I was stuck on a tower with over in Iraq, who was a Star Wars encyclopedia, he would talk about that sort of thing. No wonder it clicked in my head. And there's Douglas. Hey, how you doing? I'm doing okay. Sorry, I'm like, hey, you're perfectly fine. And unfortunately, I don't have. You guys never told me what button you want, what type of sound effects you want when you guys come in. I mean, I got Sniper, I got Brian, I got Guard here. I still have the one for Sir, but I haven't seen him. I don't even know if he's still around. I had one originally for Erica, but she wanted something else. This one here.
When I get sad, I stop being sad and be awesome instead. True story.
So anyway, let's see. Worst numbers here says me. I have a good bomber to bomb 130 meter combat power base. Discord girl, whale me. Bigger whale, Discord. Bigger whale, huh? Okay, I don't know what you're getting at there with War Sniper. You kind of lost me. Oh, so that's your back and forth. Okay, now I get it. Okay, Guard says, in short, Smurf accounts are people who make other accounts and use it to pick on lower skills and lower ranked players because they won't be paired up against people with the same skills. Oh, so they're mining, or what's the word I'm looking for? They're trying to get their kills up. God damn, it's not mining for kills. It'll hit me eventually. He continues, it's a very scummy tactic that players like doing because they can just say, I'm not some high-ranked player. I'm a new player like you. I'm just good at first-person shooter games. Then actually there's somebody who's been chronologically glued to their gamer chair for a year and a half straight and probably have 6,000 to 7,000 hours in the game. Yeesh. You know what that reminds me of was it South Park, Make Love Not Warcraft, and the guy's kind of sitting there like this, just reaching up with Doritos. Some guy actually dressed like that for Comic-Con, and the whole place went nuts. It was just hilarious. Doug is saying, what about humans making a Titan-class carrier that drops 500 to 1,000 PT boats upon entering a system besides having self-defense points? All right. You can make a Titan class like that. The problem with carriers is this. You have so much space inside that those things cannot take a hit. Even if you have strong armor, if anything penetrates, it's going to cause massive damage, which is why most carriers are protected. Just like carriers nowadays, there's so much space inside that if anything penetrates into or past the flight deck and explodes, you're going to have secondary and tertiary explosions that just spread everywhere. They're not designed to truly take a hit, pure and simple. Now, if you want a Titan-class carrier, and this is the reason why I only use them for invasions, but they only move in once the space is clear. Could you do what you're talking about? Absolutely. Absolutely. That's not a problem at all. Your issue is when you come out of FTL, if you're the one that's targeted before you are able to deploy everything, you're in deep shit. However, if you're like in Star Wars where you can come out of hyperspace really far away from your objective, that will work just fine. Because you know what? In Star Wars, they did it. It was called the Venator-class Star Destroyer. That's what it was designed to do, to dump a bunch of fighter aircraft and goddamn gunships and everything else. And you could actually, they never showed it, but it was actually designed to have 2 Corvette classes shoved up into its belly, and they were supposed to deploy, dropping out, kind of like you saw at the end of, what was that one, where they went to Scarif, whatever. Just kind of drop out, almost like the Infinity class in Halo. I mean, I want to say they ripped off the Infinity, but no, that flight deck was designed specifically for those class. Anyway, Lena says, I suppose anime made slavery cool again. People just want to buy a slave girl in a fantasy anime. Yeah, and if I see one more of these, hey, read this manga where this guy becomes the dungeon master and suddenly the only people that come in are these hot girls with these big jugs and the big butts. And I'm just sitting there like, just like,
Holy Jesus. What is that? What the fuck is that?
And it makes me just want to watch another video. Jeez, if that's the way those droids actually moved and how many rounds it takes to kill them, the clones are fucked. And yeah, the whole thing about the slave girls in anime, it's just become such a trope, especially after Shield Hero became a thing, and he bought the slave there. It was already there before that. It's really, really pushed it up to the front, really far. Let's see. Gart says, "Oh yeah, so Peter did what they did best, and they managed to piss off the entire country, or more specifically." They pissed off all of Japan because, of course, they did somehow, and I know how. Yep. Or PETA, sorry. They're, PETA, as far as I'm concerned, I'm part of PETA. You know, people that eat tasty animals. I had a venison roast for dinner tonight. And it was actually from the doe I shot earlier this season. Tasted really good. Okay, Erica says, for a story suggestion. Let me get my paperwork here. Okay. Story suggestion number 3 for tonight. Okay, we'll start with humans fighting against physically stronger, faster species that are semi-high mind. Is it semi or semi-high mind? And they are smart and as intelligent as us. Well, the thing is, if they're a hive mind, only one of them is as intelligent as us. The problem with hive minds is that puts a giant bullseye and you know exactly who to go after. Unfortunately, there's a lot of groups here right now that believe themselves to be hive mind-ish because they believe that the leader is above all reproach and can't be touched. That's bullshit. I kicked in the door and put my saw against one of their foreheads. Boy, he realized he could be touched that day, I tell you that much. Of course, when he pissed himself, that's when I backed off because that was disgusting. Let's see. Guard says, so, as of recently, there have been what's been taking internet by storm is a horse girl anime. What? And an anime where, I kid you not, all the horse girls are based off actual racing horses. Oh, sweet, merciful crap. Are you kidding me? They actually made a anime off that piece of shit. I remember reading that, at least the first part of that manga years ago. It was just, yahaha. Oh God, it was bad then. Hold on. God damn it. Had that stuck in my throat for a while. But yeah, what is this with the furry community trying to push in? Oh, wait, it's Japan. They've always had a thing about octopi and pretty women. I think you guys know where I'm talking about with this, where they turn her into a bowling ball. It's a bit of a shocker, right? Man. It's just, I don't know. I'm sure it's going to pass the Bechdel test. You know, if you don't know where the Bechdel test is, it's only like 4 questions. And I'm trying to remember is like, are there more than 2 women? Do they have names? Do they talk to each other? And about something other than a man? That's the Bechdel test. And believe it or not, the original Star Wars movie actually had 2 named female characters who talked about something other than men. They just didn't. They didn't talk to each other. So 3 out of 4. So, anyways, I'm gonna go that. Oh, approximately. That's like a hand grenade. Approximately a 5-second fuse. Actually, that's what was it? Murphy's Law. 5-second fuse burns 3 seconds. Murphy was a fucking grunt like me. That's what I like about him. Lena says, in the Sith Empire, We just tolerate slavery because if you prove yourself to be strong, people will stop mentioning slavery in the empire. Yes, I'm going to talk like that whenever we talk about the Sith in the Empire, because everybody seems to have a British accent in the Empire. I have no idea why they have a British accent in the Empire. And then they say something, something, something about the dark side. You know, it's crazy. All right, that's enough of me being stupid about that. But yeah, what was it? Back in the day, I watched, basically it was playthroughs. Almost like a Let's Play of the Star Wars ones where you actually get to choose whether you're a Jedi or a Sith, and it's like Old Republic type thing. There's always a romance thing going there. And honestly, if you choose a certain direction, you're getting more ass than a toilet seat. And yeah, I'm not going to follow the White Rabbit down that because, yeah. Let's see. Guard continues his previous comment by saying, and Peter decided to take one of the horses that's no longer with us and hasn't been with us for a while to make a post about one of the horse's injuries that resulted in his death. Ugh. PETA was a good idea. They suck in practice. Lena says, I dislike Coca-Cola AI commercials. It's really super bad. It wasn't too bad when it was just a little bit with those polar bears and made people think polar bears were cute. I say, go and pet one. I dare you. I double dare you, motherfucker. Those are the largest bears on the planet. They're actually larger than a Kodiak on average. Kodiaks can eventually grow larger than one, but still, yeah, they are vicious. They are just straight up vicious the whole time. And actually, Coca-Cola is responsible for Santa Claus. A lot of people don't realize this, but it was a marketing thing done back in like the 50s. My dad remembers when it first came out, and that's why Santa Claus is in red and white, just like the Coca-Cola. And that's why he's always holding a Coca-Cola bottle. And it's been marketing, and they're judging nostalgia. And you know what? Coca-Cola can suck my dick. Actually, you know what? I don't want them anywhere near my dick because Lord knows what type of diseases they're full of. They're already killing us from the inside out. And no, I'm not drinking Coca-Cola. I actually got some local stuff that is doesn't have that particular set of acids in there that's going to kill you. Tekkaman Rage is here saying AI furry entertainment is on the horizon. We don't have a choice. Have you actually been in a Walden Books or anything like that? They have entire walls of nothing but books dedicated to erotica for women where they have to deal with not human men. These are still males mostly, but they're not human. I kid you not. One is called Animal Milking. And yes, if you have your mind in the gutter, you know exactly where this shit is going. And it's absolutely disturbing. I was driving once and somebody's like, I'm going to read you 2 pages out of this. I couldn't get past 1. I was like, nope. Where's the button? I can't look at the phone right now. I'm driving. Shut off. I didn't want to hear it. I'm like, it was like Raphael in the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie, the originals. Where do they come up with this stuff? Then again, when I did commission work, I wrote some pretty fucked up shit too. One of these days, I'll actually tell you guys about it. Let's see. Guardian Sage says, the White Rabbit reference was my question about down the rabbit hole sound. I'm going to write that down back here as far as soundboards down the rabbit hole. Down rabbit hole. Ugh, I hate that rabbit. I'll look it up. I'll see which one fits the best. There, Guardians. Good idea. Guard says, been drawing a graphic picture of said injury and then shading that if the anime was more realistic, then the horse girl wouldn't have had a comeback arc like anime and would have been put down. And that one pissed off Japan so much. It got covered by news outlets, and the original writer of the horse anime thing told PETA to go to hell and that he would be seeing them in the courts very soon. Fucking men. Take them to court, sue their motherfucking asses off. Fuck those guys. Fuck them up the ass with a giant rubber dick. Cover it in bleach so it actually hurts, because without that, it's just their Tuesday night. Let's see. War Sniper says, Sin, I want to test something and make an AI assisted story on your channel and see what the results are. That video pure to see what the YouTube algorithm do just as a test. Are you talking about AI assisted sound effects, or are you talking visuals? Now, if you want to take the audio off of them and just run it through one of these AIs to see what you got, go nuts. I got no problems with that. The only thing I would have a problem with is when somebody takes my stuff and then basically rewrites the fucking thing over again and posts it on their own channel. I have a big problem with that. It's called intellectual property. You know, you guys know how it is. Chris says, my favorite thing to say to women that are all about body positivity and the Decepticon stuff is they look like Gorlock the Destroyer. They take offense real quick to that. Yep. That falls into the old one where you simply ask them, is Lizzo beautiful? And they say, yes. Well, you're just as beautiful as Lizzo, and watch them actually swing at you. Let's just say in one case, it was a good thing I wasn't wearing one of these glasses. They hit pretty well. I don't want to say she hit hard because she didn't, but I don't want to have to buy new glasses. And what was funny was the fact that in that little fueling station, there was a cop right there. He actually grabbed her arm, told her if she swings one more time, then he's going to arrest her, tell her to go cool off. And after she left, he turned to me and said, dude, that was hilarious. You want to press charges? I said, nope, I'm too busy laughing. And we both just stood there. Even his partner, who was a woman, was there laughing her butt off. So, yeah. Let's see here. Horse Never says, if you get out of nowhere, much better versus then you see how AI is the new shit. Well, look, if AI can help and actually create a decent set of optics while I'm doing the story, I got no problem with that. But I'm not going to use a AI voiceover, and I'm not going to use one to write the fucking story. I know AI is coming in. I know it's not something I can fully get away from forever. I have to accept it. But I am going to fight it as long as I can to keep this channel original as much as possible. I will say this, though, War Sniper. If you find out that it works really well, let me know the name of the program, and I'll see if I can incorporate it. You know, or send me a clip of the AI, whatever comes out, if you think it works good. Erica says, AI story, Dragon King, saved by human waitress. What you said. Or low-income human saves galactic gazillionaire queen king, whatever, the elite's pet. Yeah, they're just everywhere. Everywhere. You can't get away from it. Lena says, I would love to believe it because tech companies are releasing demonic technology. Yeah, you got to be careful when people call it demonic because it might not fully be. Some of it actually is. I agree with you, but not all of it. The thing with demonic is one key thing with demonic is it takes something beautiful, something that you care about, and it twists it. So if they said, here's a CRISPR technology to heal your cancer, but one of your arms is going to fall off. Or suddenly your face is going to distort into a fish or something like that. a lot of people are going to say, well, fuck you. I'll just let the cancer kill me. But I mean, or better yet, it tells all these, say like one of the male models, but why male models? And says, you will never have to work out again if you take this treatment. Well, suddenly their insides, they have like uncontrollable diarrhea for the rest of their life and they can't get a boner. Are they really going to take it? You know, they're destroying something good because the guy won't be able to actually be a model anymore because he won't be able to stand there for more than 10 seconds before he has to run to the bathroom to take a shit. You know, yeah. Let's see. Lena says, people who are fans of the Supergirl comic book probably going to like what they go see. Okay. If you tell me it's good, Leonid, I'm going to take your word for it. I will say all I can go on right now is the trailer, and the trailer looks stupid. At least to me. But I will trust your word on that one, Leonid. If you say it follows in and it stays true to the comic, I'll take your word for it. War Sniper says, Sin, I've seen a clip of an aircraft being hit by artillery in War Thunder. I didn't know that was even possible. If it's two objects flying through the air, it can hit. Pure and simple. And if they put that in the game, I actually give hats off to them. Because one of the key things is the aircraft will stay out of the area as long as artillery is coming in. Our aircraft will literally do hot laps around the area just waiting for the artillery to stop so they can come in and do their runs. You see that in like We Were Soldiers, where they have all the planes stacked up and then they actually have to stop the artillery because they can't bring it in any closer, and then they bring the airstrikes in. It's the same thing in World War II. The fighter craft would not go in for the bombers while the flaks were going off. They're going to get hit. They're going to take pieces of that. And those fighters are a hell of a lot more fragile than the bombers are. The only thing with the bomber is you can actually slow it down and make it a lot easier target to be swarmed. But yeah, if they put in the game, that's much more realistic, and I appreciate them for that. Okay, Lena says, the game industry is gaslighting people into buying $80 games. People don't really want to do that. Customer is always right. Yeah. Yeah. Hold on. Douglas. I just saw Doug's thing, or Douglas's thing here with the drill sergeant sound. I mean, I don't want to do it here because honestly, as somebody else in the house, I don't want to wake him up. I'm sitting there. It's just Scarborough drill sergeant sound, which you would be kind of like this.
Holy Jesus. What is that? What the fuck is that?
Even though he's not a drill sergeant, he's a drill instructor. There is a difference between the two. I'll see what I can find, preferably something of the Sergeant Slaughter, because I know you're a fan of that one. But yeah, you're right, Lena. $80 games, it's too much, especially when you buy the disc and you don't actually own the game anyway. At any time, they can just turn the game off on your console. Fuck that bullshit. I'm blowing through these because I'm getting aggravated. Lena says, in the Isekai Wild Last Boss, the character Lafus has always been a woman. I don't know where the original personality went, but it was replaced by a guy from the country of Japan. Is that the one with the black wings? I didn't actually watch that. I don't care much for the gender bender stuff. It kind of pushes me away. The only time it was done with a little bit of funniness was Konosuba at the very end of that. He's like, there's something poking against my butt. It's just, The thing looks down and goes, because something is. I'm like, even I was just like, no, that's wrong. But then, threw him in. It's like, I wouldn't do that to you, you dumbass. Yeah, Eric, I got your story suggestion written down here. Let's see. Doe says, certain religious leaders and some political leaders think they are above reproach. Yeah. Even though both of them, believe it or not, both of them will still bow down to certain folks. It's crazy. They think they're hot shit, but that's like the manager of a floor inside an office building thinks there's or acts like the CEO. But they'll still, as soon as the CEO walks in, yes, sir, yes, ma'am. I do everything for you. Like, fuck off. See, Lena says, I suppose I like the anime about horse girls. Don't let me stop you from enjoying something. Never, ever, ever let my personal opinion on something stop you from enjoying something. Okay, if you enjoy watching this anime, as long as it's not hurting anybody, who gives a shit? You enjoy what you enjoy, and fuck the world on that. It's important that you actually have something that you enjoy. I mean, a lot of people look at me. I have family members that look at me doing these stories and think I'm fucking nuts. I mean, they're not totally wrong, because to have a truly creative mind, you have to be a little bonkers. But I mean, it is what it is. He continues with, it's the anime about horses from the horse racing, and the anime is telling those stories in the form where the horses are teenage girls. Yeah, I thought I read this before. I might have. Chris says, Coke is bad, but Pepsi used human as flavoring. Don't get me started on McCrappies. Their 100% beef made burgers is from a company called 100% Beef. It's actually average 70% human sourced from Funeral. Oh, no wonder I get a case of violent diarrhea every time I eat a McDonald's. Ugh. He says, I wish I was kidding. Don't ask why I know this. Soylent Green is people. Ugh. You guys actually, I don't know if you guys know this, but they've been doing shrinkflation so much on the Mickey D's burgers and stuff like that, that the pickles themselves are actually thicker than the beef patty. I'm not even joking. People have done a whole bunch of videos on these. If you haven't seen it, you're missing out. It's actually kind of funny. But yeah, just the thought of, I'm sorry, just the thought of actual people being in, it's twisting my stomach in new and not so fun ways. And like I said, I can't eat McDonald's anymore. It makes me violently sick. The last time I had it, I was driving back. I needed something. I needed something quick. Me and my nephew, we stopped at McDonald's. Within 20 minutes of us being on the road, both of us are like, oh, something's wrong. Something's seriously wrong. What the fuck is wrong? Like 2 exits down the road, we both ran into the friggin' latrine and just puked our guts out. At least I puked my guts out. I think he shit his out. I don't know. It messed us both up. Warsnumber says, I said it wrong. I want you to make a video AI assisted to see the result of how messed up the... okay. You want me to... Okay. I'll look to see what type of programs there are. If I got the time. Let's see. Lena says, Nar Shaddaa is basically the planet moon where you can find everything illegal, trade, weapons, slave trade, criminal sources, irregulated technology. Okay. Okay, did I miss something? That is cool, Sin. You just want to know if something get higher in your subscribers, get higher the moment you use AI assisted video. It's possible. I mean, I don't know if you guys make any videos yourself, but actually when you go in to upload the video yourself, you have to go through a whole bunch of setups to let people know, like time, date, description, yada, 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 set your thumbnail, this, that, and the other thing. One of the things down there is it actually asks if you used AI or if you made a situation where somebody is doing something they're not, yada, yada, yada. I always click no, of course, because I don't use it. And I mean, maybe I need to hit that. Maybe that'll help. I don't know. Let's see. Guard says, no, Sin, the horse girl anime is pretty much girls at 90% woman and 10% horse. That's how they look. They got the ears and they got the tails. But other than that, they're women shaped. Yeah, and they got like hoof, like boots or something like that. I seen the preview. It's not for me. It's just that simple. It just doesn't appeal to me at all. Again, but do not let me stop you from enjoying what you enjoy. It's harmless. I mean, go ahead and watch them shake their tails. All that. Okay, Erica, part of your stuff must be missing because I'm coming in halfway through saying, kid you not, Bred by Bigfoot or something else. Haven't read it. I just know it exists. I Googled Bigfoot and it was right there for the product line. Bred by Bigfoot. I'm missing context on that one. Anyway, Chris says, great idea. Space Uber Eats with human delivery drivers. Stabby humans messing with food if they don't get a tip. The possibilities are endless for AI, especially when they don't have cash. I don't know. That might be a little too on the nose considering what happens with the Uber Eats driver. For anybody not in the know, a woman decided that she didn't like the folks she was delivering to. So as soon as she put the bag down, took a picture, she sprayed down the bag with civilian pepper spray and sent the wife of the couple directly to the emergency room. I think she ended up in the ICU for a little while. And she survived, but that can be considered attempted murder. And why? Apparently she didn't like the tip or something like that. And I'm just like, look, they're already charging you 3 times what the meal is worth just for you to pick it up. Maybe your issue is not with the people you're delivering to, but the people you work for. War Sniper, I really need to start looking into AI videos, but my content is War Thunder and Planet Side 2. Maybe World of Warships later. I don't know. It's possible. Oh, shit. Sorry, this thing jumped. I really don't have much on that. All I can say is tomorrow morning, look for next compilation video. Again, it's only a few minutes long. What I might end up doing is saving all these and just have one big file for the month. Let's see. Lena says, I have seen anime using both genders for the main character. They could be male or female in different quantum timelines. Ooh, quantum entangled timelines? Oh, that could get very, very funky. One of the funny, now this was obviously like early 90s anime, and they did have one where the timelines, or not timelines, the dimensions like slammed into each other ever so slightly. And what it was like half the people in the world met their doppelganger. And in one case, the guy was like, okay, now I have to house my doppelganger. Why is my doppelganger female? And her question was, why is my doppelganger male? And it was just kind of a goofy thing. And they started going over the whole thing like, wait a minute, we got the same DNA. How is this? What the hell? And the problem is it never got translated. So there's a lot lost in the sauce with the subtitles. But there was a whole thing about her talking about, I don't know, do I even need to put on a top? I mean, we're both the same person. He's seen his own chest. I don't know. And the thing, she never does walk out there with her chest showing out, but it's just a thought. And the problem is they're both having the same thoughts at the same time, but they don't realize they're having the same thoughts at the same time. It's just goofy as shit. It is really funny, but the problem is the translation was garbage. See, Chris says, gaslighting doesn't work on me. I don't even notice the low gaslight when I'm driving. The thing with any type of gaslighting is you literally just have to look at them. Okay, say that slow, but in a mirror or something like that. You know, you can't yell back. You can't insult back because according to whoever's gaslighting, they just won. It doesn't work that way. You got to twist things around and basically gaslight them back. Lena says, yes, it's an anime about the main character with the black wings. It's focusing on the power fantasy. Okay, yep. I saw some previews for it. I didn't actually watch the whole thing. The only thing I saw was something about somebody had wrapped it in chains and the character just like spread her wings and just snapped the chains like they're nothing. And they got the one character who's following them around like a dog or whatever. Yeah, there you go. Douglas had the same idea. Soylent Green is people. Lena says, I started watching another post-apocalypse anime. Androids are extremely overpowered. Gotta narrow that one down. I wouldn't know which one you're talking about. Chris says, Douglas, I was just kidding. If you want, Germany just issued a report on the meat quality of the McBurgers. It's available online. Dig and you'll find the stuff in US. Yeah, I don't want to. Doug is saying, by the way, in Warhammer 40K, there is a food given to most troops called corpse paste. Yuck. I guess that's a battle ration or something now. Lena says, I do enjoy Cat Girls and Sisters of Battle in 40K. Yeah, well, who doesn't? The thing with the Sisters of Battle, we did have this conversation. You guys were able to fill it in on me and why all the Sisters of Battle look very much alike. And that's because they use their version of CRISPR technology to alter every one of those women's DNA with the DNA of the original Sister of Battle, who was apparently an absolute knockout, which is also why they all have white hair. Let's see. And by the way, don't ask for a 40K story, guys. I'm not a big enough fan to do it justice. I tried once, and it wasn't just a crash and burn. It was a flat spin on fire all the way in. It was terrible. I tried to adjust things, and there was a moral of the story throughout the whole deal, but it just didn't work. Doug is saying, maybe Erica is talking about Dogman or Sheep Squatch. I know what Dogman is. I have no idea what Sheep Squatch is. Lena says, War Thunder keeps teasing me with infantry. I personally don't see it. It hasn't come out yet. It's not due to come out until, I believe, first week in January. But yes, War Thunder is supposed to have infantry in it now. I personally think they had to get enough server space to actually do that. Let's see, War Sunset. Well, I go to bed. I need to be up at 8 in the morning, and now it's almost 3 in the morning. Holy fuck balls. And everybody's saying good night, pleasant dreams, you too. And let me check my media assets right here. And yes, we have played everything. I only had 6 videos. Let's see. Lena says, it's an anime that is sent 200 years after the AI war. Some things are downgraded in the society. Some things are advanced. That's weird. But looks like we're finally down to the end of the comments. I'm out of media assets, and right now my jaw hurts from talking so much. So I don't know if the video is going to be able to drop at midnight tonight. I'm having some issues with YouTube right now. If nothing else, it will be dropped first thing in the morning, probably before 8 o'clock Eastern Standard. Okay, provided YouTube isn't going to totally fuck me over, because every once in a while I have to worry.
It's a trap.
But yeah, it is what it is. And at least they're not going to
Bazinga!
me too much, you know. And of course, they're always telling me to.
You will respect my authority.
And all that other fun shit. However, it looks like all you guys are saying,
Screw you guys, I'm going home.
so we're just going to do our safety brief for tonight. You guys know how this goes. Say it with me. If you drink, you don't drive. If you drive, you don't drink. If your buddy wants to drink and drive, feel free to kick their ass. It's a whole lot better to have a buddy with a broken nose than a buddy with a broken neck. If your little soldier's going in the bush, make sure he wears his poncho. Right, Erica? Anyways, it gets wet in the bush, at least if you know what the hell you're doing. Also, be easy on the roads. You guys know it's winter and there's some weird weather out there. Sometimes you can't see those icy spots, so give yourself a little extra time, a little extra space. You never know when you're going to need it. I almost actually smashed my car into a pole last week because of some really fucked up weather around here. So be careful, guys. I want to see you all here next week, safe and sound on Syntax Live. This is your host, and I'm punching out.
Game over, man. Game over.
Oh, wrong button. See you.